Welcome back to Talking Tactics. I'm Ntshinga, and this is Kaunda and Ntunja. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, X.
Last week, we took a look at the selections, at least of the key teams for Rugby World Cup. This week, we're a little bit more settled in our minds, and we're looking at key individuals in those squads as well as the pools. So we've broken up the show into two segments. We're going Pool A and Pool B. And how Kaunda has set this up for you today, he's done some homework. It's gone with the way that we expect the pools to end up at the end of the pool stage, going into the quarterfinals. This is what you think will happen in the pool of death?
Yeah, X, I just looked at each team's momentum going into this World Cup. Australia, obviously champions of the Rugby Championship. England have looked decent, beating Ireland, beating France on their way there. Wales struggled here and there, but they had a good win against Ireland as well. I think Australia will end up top of that pool. And after this, I think Australia will probably meet Scotland in the quarterfinals, and potentially Ireland or France in the semis, and maybe All Blacks in the final.
I'm going to ask you about England, but hold that thought and who they'll meet potentially in those quarterfinals. But in terms of Australia, who we expect to finish top of that pool, and this selection by yourself speaks volumes of what you expect them, the type of tactic you expect them to employ. Yeah,
you know what? I think that this man is the most important player in that Australian side. Australia beat teams by dominating bulk of the possession.
Yeah.
To do that, you must be able to turn over opposition's ball, and you must be able to maintain your ball. We know that Australia is dangerous out wide. Adam Ashley Cooper, Falau, Kurindrani, Matt Giddo, all of those guys. They can't get that ball if this guy is not efficient. And when he works with Hooper in tandem, oh, it's dynamite. It's something special.
Yeah.
We saw him dominate the All Blacks to win the Rugby Championship, and definitely Cheika is going to go with him and Hooper starting as a Lucy's.
Yeah, so we said that Australia possibly finishing top, second place, possibly the English, and for them out wide, I think that's where their gold lies. They've got a great back three, and this guy has been unbelievable.
Amongst the top 3 or top 5 best fullbacks in the world, this player. He can double up, he sometimes plays wing, but I think he's a fullback. And tactically, he is astute. Great boot on him. He reads the game very well. He's very quick as well.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to link with Johnny May and Watson on the wing as well. He reads the game well, as I said, and he spots the gaps and he bursts through tackles. He's going to be critical if England are going to go far in this World Cup.
And if they are to get through to the quarterfinals, England,
I think they'll probably meet South Africa in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
And I think South Africa is going to beat them actually in the quarters.
Right, and then the Welsh are the team we expect to finish third on that list in that pool. Who knows? They could still make it into the top 2, but he was their player of the tournament in 2011.
Yeah, he's just come back from injury, Sam Warburton. He's going to be critical, especially against Australia when they're playing against arguably the 2 best fetchers in the world in Hooper and Pocock. He will have to be at his best. Him with Dan Lydiot and Toby Faletau are going to have to fire. And obviously, Warburton, I say he's the most important player on their team because Leigh Halfpenny is actually injured. He got injured last weekend. Now, Leigh Halfpenny was a critical player in their team. Not only is he a great fullback, but he was also their goal kicker.
Sure.
He kicks at about 90%. And we saw what he did with the British Lions in 2013 on their tour to Australia. Best player for the British Lions. He loved the big stage. Now he's out of it.
Now he's out of it. It's very sad. George North is another one who might be quite important for them. Right, let's look at the 3 contenders in Pool A. In Pool B, obviously South Africa in that pool, and we know that the rest of the strength of the pool is not as strong as maybe in Pool A, but the order. Are you thinking that Scotland will get one over the Samoans?
Yeah, this is going to be tight one, X. I mean, Samoa with the guys like Tim Nana Williams there. They've got the PC brothers there. They're going to be critical, but I think they lack a little bit in the forwards, and I think that's where Scotland is going to be able to get one up on them. Japan and USA are there on holiday, so we don't have to worry about them.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the Samoans have got 12 England-based players in that squad, so they will be a fairly well-coached squad as well. But in terms of South Africa finishing top of the pool, we forget there's a guy who's been missing in action for quite some time due to injury, and he's key.
SA Rugby Player of the Year last year, Thor. He's going to be critical to our team. I think for me, the 2 most important players in the box side is Dwayne Vermeulen and Fourie Dupré. Fourie Dupré, he does a bulk of the play from number 9, but we know that South Africa is a very physical side, and there's very few players that are more dominant on attack and defense in the collision than Dwayne Vermeulen. Over and above that, he's also very good on the ground. He makes a lot of turnovers. Now, we know that Francois Lowe is not a traditional fetcher. So it's going to be important that Duane Vermeulen does well in that role of fetching. And if he stays fit and he stays healthy, South Africa can go very far.
Right, one last look at the two pools and how we expect them to finish up and ending off. And it's supposed it means Australia, as you say, will probably face the Scots. England will probably face South Africa. But the Welsh could sneak in there still.
They could. I think South Africa, will, as you said, will meet England in the quarters. And I suspect South Africa will meet New Zealand in the semi.
Yeah.
Oh, now that will be a massive game.
Kuzofiwa Engilande. We are looking forward to it. Thanks, Kaunda. Stay tuned. And of course, look for the next video where we take a look at pools C and D. Thanks for joining us.
They'll go. I don't think they'll go through. Namibia, decent team.
Yeah, they'll fancy their chances against Georgia and
They
Tonga.
can beat Georgia, and it'll be an interesting game. Namibia.